rim protector someday. So those are the three prospects I think teams are excited.
Hey, good night, everyone. This is Night Owls. I wanted to jump on here tonight for a little bit. Uh, let's, let's see. Well, pretty sure ain't that many people up tonight, but I still want to get on a little bit. Just chop it up. Man, it's been a long week. Uh,
Is she black enough to be kept out of?
I'm over here catching my daily news and stuff like that. Um, man, just want to greet everybody. Think I'm back. Back. There we go. I'm over here messing with stuff I ain't got no business messing with. Um, hey, I just wanted to get on here real quick, chop it up. Waiting on my homeboy to get on here tonight. Larry, he's gonna get on here with me from California. That's one reason why I'm up late as hell. I tried to do this earlier, but it was too damn late. So I just want to go ahead and get out here, chop it up, discuss some things, discuss some minor matters. Oh, also, once again, I did my first batch of brownies I had cooked up. Well, actually, directly first batch for my business. I used to always I cooked a few couple of times before then when it came to the edibles. I had did I did some back probably like 3 or 4 years ago. I was cooking a couple of those edibles. Um, but I ended up buying this botanical infusion machine. That's the nice little word that they use. They call it botanical. That was something new. I didn't realize that's what they actually say instead of saying cannabis or anything like that. They say botanical. Um, but yeah, the next thing I'm gonna try since I've did the brownies, I'm gonna do more of those. I actually want to creep into working with oil. I'm gonna do some oils and I'm gonna do some tantric and I'm gonna do some. They have this cool one called a candle. It's a candle massage. It's a massage oil candle where you make it as a candle, but as it burns, you actually can pour. You can pour the oil out and use it as a massage oil. So I'm gonna start playing with that a little bit too. It's a CBD candle massage oil. It's gonna be pretty cool. I'm gonna definitely want to get involved. That I know it's gonna be it's time. The process is pretty long, especially when you start doing more qualities. I know when I'm just cooking and dealing with the brownies itself, man, I was up pretty late. Around by this time I was cooking. And just the grinding process that the machine takes, it takes 2 hours just to do the extractions from the hemp. I used like butter, I used olive oil, I used egg yolk uh to better extract it. And then it takes like 45 minutes. You gotta do you gotta heat up and decarbonize the hemp or any kind of cannabis you have. You have to heat up in the stove first for like 35, 45 minutes before you even do the other 2 hour process of distraction, before you even start cooking the product itself. So it's definitely, trust me, it's definitely time consuming. Um, just doing brownies. So just imagine doing the palm or doing the actual like candles and things like that and lotions. Those are pretty very time consuming when it comes to that. The whole cooling it, mixing the temperance, mixing your essential oils and things like that is definitely time consuming. But it's definitely worth it. It's definitely worth it. I love the outcome of it. And even though it's so time consuming, I love the outcome of everything. I love when you see something you make and it is what it is. at first I wanted to branch out and do this as a collective, but after a while I was like, man, I don't just realizing just as running starting a business and certain things I guess I want to go ahead and deep dive and put my hands in completely first, work on it more myself right now, and then later on I want to kind of branch it out and giving people responsibilities, but learning everything now is kind of hard to depend on so many people when you need things done right now, that I just went ahead and said, oh, hey, I'm just gonna go ahead and get this stuff, start forming and developing things myself, and just start spreading the responsibilities out individually as I master everything. But it is what it is. It's a learning curve for me. It's a learning curve for everybody. So I'm just trying to learn my way pretty much. And it's definitely a lot to learn from just the development side of everything. It's definitely time consuming. Um, but other than that, man, yeah, man, I know a lot of stuff is going on television. I've been having a lot of conversations with people. I know I haven't discussed it on my platform yet about um what people are putting out on display versus what we need to be trying to pay more attention to. One of the things I know, the whole election stuff had popped off, and Biden had pretty much declared his thing or whatever. Um, man, that shit is stupid, man. One thing I discussed with somebody else the other night, I had discussed and stated, I mean, we really kind of wasting our time with whoever we picking when it comes to this whole election with Biden and Trump, because you're choosing between a person that will beat you versus person that will stab you. Like, you still getting a harmful person. You still getting somebody that's not going to be meeting nobody needs and wants and whatsoever at all. I mean, Biden taking a picture with black people, and I guess he think that's supposed to mean something. And the funny thing is, most of us kind of falling for the trick bad, because a lot of people think it does mean something and it doesn't, because he still never have an agenda, or he never even gave or was in detail discussing anything about what his agenda is for black people. He never discussed anything. It's almost like we're going to vote for him by default, in a sense, based off of fear. Um, Also, it's like that it's definitely a fear move. And on top of that, I mean, we're celebrating um Kamala Harris as if she's the president. We're celebrating that, like, okay, we happy with she in the first black woman. But if she doesn't run with somebody that don't have a black agenda behind everything else she's doing, and he doesn't have a black agenda, and she doesn't have a black agenda of what's going on, and discussing it, then what is it we're really celebrating? I mean, I don't think we're celebrating anything if nobody has or have even discussed or even said anything about what are we getting out of this situation. Everybody's celebrating just because she's there. I don't really understand how that's a win. Just like I mean, don't get me wrong, even with Michelle Obama on the speech and stuff, I mean, I'm at an age now to where the whole speech and the talking shit is not really going to make me feel any better. Especially when I feel like, as an adults, we got kids. We got people out here that is going to be really running things when I leave. So it's up for us to really start trying to stop falling for the same stuff that our kids had. And same thing as our grandparents and everybody else fell for, the whole good talk game. You know what I'm saying? The pillow talk. Well, yeah, I mean, you can talk a good talk, and I mean, don't get me wrong. Like the stuff she said was very powerful and meaningful, but if it's not fixing and solving none of the things that's going on out here in this world, then what is it? What is it we're celebrating just because she said so? It's still not gonna fix anything. Um, what she said is great to hear, but it's still not fixing what's going on at all. So, and I mean, her saying what she's saying, what is that still supposed to make us lean towards more of voting for Biden? And why? Like this cat don't even this cat back in the days, I mean, all the stuff that he believed in and fought hard for when it came to a lot of these laws and all the restraints that went against black people. Like this cat still, he ain't changed or nothing. He's gotten older. Like he was old then when he was making all these like when he was making all these claims and whatnot. I mean, so he's already who he is. Just like Trump is who he is. All these cats is the same people. They are who they are. That's why I was like, man, we got to start falling for the trick bag when it comes to who we're putting in place big time. We're definitely, we still falling for this. We still falling for the okey-doke. We need to really start creating our own pack and people and placing people that we want. Cause that's definitely a trick bag. That's definitely what we don't need, we don't want, and it doesn't make sense for us to have it. We don't need Biden. We don't need Trump. We don't need the Republican or the Democrat in place. We need more of an independent party that does these things. So that's the thing. We got to get that in place. We got to get that in place. So yeah, we got to get those things in place and whatnot. Man, like another thing we gotta put it. We got to. Okay, I think I got my boy on right now. Let's pop him on. What's going on,
What's up,
man?
man? You know how it is. How you doing?
Man, hold it down, man. I'm over here just chopping up about the whole Democrat and Republican Party and whatnot, where none of this ain't nothing but a clown show.
Oh man, it is the clown show, man. I tell people, I get my news from Saturday Night Live. When I want to watch a damn comedy, I watch the real news. You get more informed on Saturday Night Live, man.
Yeah.
You know, if you really trying to like put your bifocals on, you know, and get your notebooks out and put on a shirt and tie, then you check out Saturday Night Live. Now, if you just want to smoke some weed, have like a couple of shots of Jack, then you turn on like the real news,
Pretty much.
It's that backwards, man. It's that backwards.
It's very backwards. It's very backwards, man. I don't know. Like I tell people, man, like I get the whole fear of having Trump back in office, but they always play on our fear. They always play on our fear. That's always been the gig, and people gotta understand something, man. Most of the stuff that's in place is like it's a 10-year plan. So you got to think so. To me, I always say everything is when people like that have money, all they got in their life is to plan to do stuff. So I understand when they plan stuff, it's a 5-10 year plan that's already put in place for these people to have what they got going on in place. Like the whole Trump stuff was a 10-year, 5-year plan already in place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And whatever's happening now, trust me, This was already a plan in place. They already knew, okay, in order for us to get Biden in office, we gotta have somebody really, really fucked up in office to force people to vote for Biden. Like they already knew that bag. You know what I'm saying? They already knew that trick bag. That shit was already in place, man. They knew.
Wow.
They knew if they put anybody else up Trump in office, how else you gonna get Biden in office? You know what I'm saying?
So tell me this. You think Biden's going to get the office? Man, I think Trump's going to win again.
My personal opinion, I feel like if they don't put Biden in office, we're gonna we're gonna lose if we put Biden in office as black people. I'm gonna tell you why. We're gonna lose because if we put Biden in office now, we lose the chance to get in somebody that's in the Democrat office that is worthy of being in office. We're losing that opportunity next year because Biden's going to be in office. So when it's time to run again, the only person that's going to have to run against Biden is going to be another Republican. So guess what? Yeah. Now we got more fuckery coming again. You know what I'm saying? Like it makes more sense not to even vote for Biden and find somebody next year that's actually worth putting in. You see what I'm saying? But we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that because
it's just a clown show. It's like they're so. See, let me tell you, man. I always tell people, you're not going to beat Trump with the same old traditional politics. I don't even know if Obama can beat Trump right now because people need to hear. They need to hear the opposite of Trump. Like they need to hear. Well, when I say the opposite, but he needs like his. You know what I'm saying? Like he got to be met with the same force that he has, or more. Like you got to take the gloves off with him. You know, because he's going to say what's on his mind. You know, whether you like it or not, and that's just the age we're in. And if you're trying to be politically correct or you're saying something because it's the right thing to say, but you don't really mean it, man, people see through that. People want to hear some real stuff now, you know. They're sick of politics. They ready for, I mean, they people are just sick, man. They're tired of it. And you got a lot of people that don't really like Trump, but they'll vote for him because it's just like they feel like the lesser of two evils, which I mean, damn, I don't even, that's depressing to think about.
Man, like Biden, man, he ain't a great choice. And I feel like personally, if we pick him, all we doing is saying, hey, we still want to get beat, we still want to get hanged. Well, we're not really putting our foot down and saying, okay, we're tired of this shit. Let's just completely change how this game goes. Because I feel like the Democrat Party is kind of like the whole damn we're like the Democrat is like the boyfriend that beat your ass every day, but he still say I love you. You know what I'm saying? That's what the Democrat Party is. Like, you know, I know you gonna come back home to me. When you get home, you know I'm gonna beat your ass, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna beat your ass, but I love you. You know what I'm saying? I love you though. But I'm gonna beat your ass when you come home. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the Democrat Party.
And it's sad because it's kind of hit a critical mass for everybody. I always say people comparing notes. Everybody's comparing notes, and everybody's like, you know, everybody kind of gets what's going on, and it's a good thing because it's time for that, man. It's time for people to say enough is enough, you know, because what happens is Biden gets in there, Kamala gets in there, mass incarceration, you know, it's still going to go up. If you know, it's like it's going to be more of the same. And I mean, what Kamala got up there, she did her dance on the Breakfast Club and did the sister girl thing, and it's like, I just think I think the best thing Kamala Harris and Biden can do right now is other than drop out, of course. It's if they're going to be elected, they just got to be like, we understand, these are new times, and we got to really listen to the concerns of the Black community, and they got to mean it. And I'm not even saying that'd be enough, but whoever runs for the Democratic Party, they got to know that we're in a new age, and the Black community has to be heard. It can't be heard by going to the church and doing a Dougie or whatever. It can't. That's just not gonna work. You got to literally sit down. You can't sit down with somebody like Danny Glover and discuss reparations. You're gonna have to sit down with somebody like Dr. Claude Anderson
Visually.
and talk about real issues.
Yeah.
Because that's just where it's at right now. I mean, that's there ain't no getting around it, in my opinion. If you want the Black community to come back to the table, and I'm just saying what I see. I'm just calling it. I'm being as what's the word, objective as possible. But that's what I see.
Right.
That's what I see. That's kind of I see where we are. And Kamala has like a high incarceration rate. She was proud of locking Black folks up. I mean, she took pride in being quote unquote tough on crime, from what I hear. And that's what I hear.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, man. It's pretty bad because a couple people say, all right, like I've heard mixed opinions about her, but some people say, she's a horrible person. She's faking it.
Yeah.
Some people say, we can't judge her based off of her job and what she had to do because that was her job and her job paid her to do that.
Yeah. I get it. I that's why I'm saying, I don't mean to cut you off, brother, but that's why I'm saying maybe she needs to just kind of come to Jesus and say, look, we got to change the way we do things, and I got to change the way I've done things, and I got to learn, and I got to listen. It's about being real in this age. It's about, people ain't even expecting you to be perfect. People just want you to be honest.
Like how she could gain my respect?
Yeah.
If her and Biden can keep it real and be like, all right, you know what I'm saying? It's some things I don't like about Biden. I feel like he need to correct. Biden be like, you know what? There is some stuff I need to check on myself. I'm wrong about this. Like if they can have that get real conversation and establish that in the public eye, then we'll be somewhat cool. Hey, hold on. Keep talking, but I got to call my kids because I hear them talking in the back. Hey, bring me all y'all devices and put them in this couch. I don't even know why y'all still up. Y'all don't think I'm a snapper because I'm on this thing. Y'all got me tripping. Bring all y'all devices. Get your sister, tell her, give me the phone, her tablet. Y'all bring and drop into this couch. All right, I'm back. You there? Larry. I think he done froze.
Hello?
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, you had froze for us.
Oh, no. I thought I was, give me 1 second. Let me just make sure I'm on the right route here.
All right, go ahead.
Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Can you hear me? Talk.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I said you sounded like CIA confiscation, man. Give me your devices.
Yeah, man. They be slick with it, man. Like, they already know, like, it's mad late. And they over here thinking because I'm on this thing that I ain't going to snap on them, I'm going to be civilized. No, I'm not.
Hey, you keeping it real. That's what we want Biden and Kamala to do.
I know, right?
They need to bring their devices.
They don't want us to see what they be going through, what they be.
You know what I'm saying?
There was
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
man.
But dude, it's another topic, man. I want to talk about. I want to drop on real quick, man.
Yeah, what's that?
Man, we don't talk enough about pedophiles. You know
Oh
what I'm
shit.
saying? We don't be talking about that, man. That shit be real damn low key, man. And I realize I feel like as a community, man, we really dropping that ball real hard because we talk about everything in the moon except all this all this fuckery going on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't really have that real conversation on
Uh-huh.
that at all, man. I feel like we need to start calling that out way more.
I know. Yeah.
We call out so much. Like we think about it. We talk about sports, music, and money more than the trauma that hitting trauma, and that shit happens more than we even think about talking about.
Oh man, I can't imagine. I can't imagine. I think any it's never too much to talk about pedophilia in any situation. That has to be addressed, man. Because you got people who if they don't get the right counseling, I mean, it's just like it really can destroy a life. It really can just destroy people. You know, in more ways than one. So that's definitely a serious issue with in the black community, and I just in general. I mean, I've even heard that they're trying to usher that in mainstream more. Like they said, that's going to be they said that's going to be the kind of next thing where they call it NANBLA, National Association of Man Boy Love.
Yeah.
It's like they're trying to usher that in, and man, you got to let a kid be a kid. I just don't. That's just sick to me. You know, that's just a sick. You know, kids have to be kids, man. You can't be. I don't. The kids ain't thinking like that, and it's just crazy to me. How people
man. I don't get it. I'm gonna be talking about this shit on like every show for the next probably 3 or 4 weeks, man. I'm finna go hard on this topic. I'm really going hard on this topic, man.
Well, it went in the hip hop community. I try not to call names because I'm kind of I don't, you know, you can feel free to call names or whatever if you have any names in mind, but I'll just say this: in the hip hop community, there was a big outbreak of pedophilia, and
oh really?
That was oh yeah, there was a real big outbreak, and like I said, I'm not trying to start beef with nobody or create good internet drama because you know, shit, I'm not the one because I don't.
I mean, we got to drop names and start pointing out that kind of stuff because you gotta understand, we got kids out here that's being traumatized.
Well, just being careful, like allegedly, like you know what I'm saying. That's why I try to be careful with names. I don't want nobody rebutting and saying, "Oh, you defame my name," you know. But if you Google it, you'll find it out. And then you know, because if I don't do a lot of thorough research, I try not to jump the gun. But put it like this: it was a big issue in the hip hop community lately, like in the past couple of years, and there's been a lot of allegations thrown, and you kind of know something's up when the person who's being accused doesn't speak out against it.
Right.
They don't really come out and vehemently. And but you know, you hear about that all the time in the hip hop community, how you got to do and to get where you are, and it's like especially back in the day. I can imagine back in the early 90s and before, a lot of people we look up to was probably bent over a couch, you know, taking all the inches, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People we look up to, people we think are the most masculine, was probably literally dropping it like it's all the way high,
Right.
you know, behind closed doors. Now, I would say that's how deep it is. And the thing is, and you know, I know people say, man, you know, I ain't doing that shit. You know, I ain't going, man, you don't know what you're going to do if somebody got a dick draped across the $100 million contract.
Right.
People can talk that shit. You know,
That's true.
some things in life, you won't know what you're going to do until you're faced with it. It's almost like, I could tell you all day, Dante, if somebody shoot, I'm going to jump in front of the bullet and take it for you.
Right.
I can say that all day. Until that moment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's when you really know what you're going to do. But that's why I try not to, you know, even with the 90s stuff, I try not to call out names of people I heard, because I feel like, think about it like this. You come from, let's say you come from a poor background, right? And you sacrificed everything to get to Hollywood. Like, there ain't nothing else to go back to.
Right.
You didn't sever the relationship with your girlfriend. You didn't argue with your mom. You didn't cuss your dad out. Y'all done fell out. So you came out here with literally the clothes on your back. You get through the auditions, or you get that record deal. You get invited to this big house, big old house out in the middle of nowhere in Beverly Hills. Women walking around naked, pussy everywhere. Everybody's jacking your dick off, and everything is good. And here comes the contract, and then there's a big 12-inch dick draped across it, and you got to move that dick around to sign that contract. You know, because the dick is in the way. The dick is in the way. You can't get the pin around the dick, right? You got to move, put your hands on it, and massage it out the way, you know? So, you know, man, it's like when you're faced with that, it's hard to judge a person what they have to do to get to where they are. And it's sad that it goes back to pedophilia. It's so sad that you got kid actors. Corey Feldman. If you look up Corey Feldman, dude, one kid actor committed suicide back in the day. I think it was a popular kid actor in the 90s.
Yeah.
Committed suicide because to get those roles, see what happens is the parents get enamored with the celebrity, right? So you'll have a parent who would just be so starstruck with the producers and directors, they'll leave their kids. You know, the directors say, hey, just drop your kid off here, and you know, the kid can stay with us. He can stay in my big penthouse for a month with the other kids, and that's where all the shit goes down.
Right.
So you see these kids in these movies, and you wonder how they become drug addicts and damn suicidal by the time they hit their teens and early adulthood. But it's because of all the shit they see.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, man. A lot of them, man. I mean, one of them just died not too long ago. One of them, she killed herself not too long ago, and she was a childhood star.
Wow.
Oh, the female that dated Big Sean, she was engaged to Big Sean at one point. I forgot her name.
Oh, wow.
But she was a childhood star. She ended up killing herself. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of that stuff be haunting them. And the thing is,
that's right.
It's hard for them to talk to the people that they're around, because all of them pretty much already know the game anyway. So it's not like you can really vent to the familiar. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of hard to vent to people that's already familiar to what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Because they going through it them damn selves. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's an ongoing issue with that. That's why, you know what I'm saying? That's why I always try to.
Hello?
I'm here.
You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
You said that's why what now?
I said that's why with all this show that they got going on with us, with the whole the fakeness of the TV when the lights, camera, action go on, like all this stuff is so damn fake, man. Because a lot of these people be in pain, but you'll never know it. You never see it based off the camera. You know what I'm saying? Or you do see the pain, because majority of the time, you know what I'm saying, they fuss and they fight and they throwing shit on TV. That's them really screaming out on television. You know what I'm saying? Because they
Yeah.
doing it with yelling, fussing, fighting, wearing outlandish shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what's generating from the base off of the pain. You know what I'm saying? That's their way of them showing that they're going through pain. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. That's right. That's right. And they get into drugs because they want to escape. It's a tremendous amount of pressure, man. And celebrity. I'm not gonna just say Hollywood, but that's an example of whenever you're in places where there's a lot of money and power, and there are like no real rules. There's like no laws. Like, all the damn mayors, judges, everybody's in they're in the room with the damn, I don't know, goat hat on, and they're naked.
Yeah.
And it's like when you get to that level of power and there's no rules, it's like people have a way of behaving because they have to behave a certain way. But once they got money and freedom, it's like they do whatever they want. So you got powerful people who they feel like, hey, there's no rules.
Right.
If I want something, I'm gonna get it, and I don't care. There ain't no repercussions. I mean, shoot, me and the top DA, we sitting here on the bed naked. So
yeah,
what he gonna do?
Yeah.
What he gonna do? Hell, he's freakier than me. I'm like Mary Poppins next to him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But
so it's like
have you heard about the whole Epstein Island shit?
Yeah, I heard about it, man.
Getting kidnapped and shit. Like,
I heard about it.
Like that's what I'm talking about, man. Like, look, we spend so much time talking about WAP and all this over sexual stuff, and we talk about who butt is bigger and who fine and who this and who that. But we got all these kids getting snatched up. We getting people snatched up. We got kids getting molested. Ain't nobody paying attention to their damn kids. You know what I'm saying? You got niggas over all the time. Those niggas probably touching your kids.
Right. You said it, man.
You want to go see somebody or you want to hit the club up. All this stuff is your fuckery is always the reason why the negative damage occurs with everybody else. You see what I'm saying? Because what's going on is a lot of people is just not doing what they're supposed to do as parents. You know what I'm saying? And if it's like, that's why I'm so very particular about where my kids go and who the fuck they with. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, man. Yes.
A lot of people, they don't take those things into consideration. And sometimes, don't get me wrong, some people just be in a desperate situation where they're like, dang, I don't have nobody to see my kids when I go to work. So I just got to drop them off somewhere. And this is where, as adults and as parents, we got to take this kind of things in accountability. If you know deep down inside that you're going to put yourself in these kind of hardships to where you have a hard time maintaining your kids, this is why you don't have kids. You don't have kids if you know you're going to have a hard time placing them places, or you're going to have a hard time being able to do things that you need to do. Is because we're making decisions without evaluating our current status and the possibilities of what may happen to us that may hinder our kids' growth. The thing
Right.
is, that kind of shit hinders our kids' growth when we're having them irresponsibility. We're having them so irresponsible to a fact where we gotta put them in harm's way. That
Right.
that is
Right.
careless and immature in our faults because we don't
Right.
never understand that. Hey, before we have these kids, I'm gonna have them in safe keep, and I'm gonna have them in safe place. Cause this is what happened. You know what I'm saying? It was a little kid in my area around here in the city got snatched up right in front of their front yard. Like, how do your
Whoa.
child get snatched up right in front of your front yard? You know what I'm saying?
Whoa.
In front of your front yard. I think the kid was like 4 years old.
Oh,
You know what I'm
man.
saying? And then they
Oh,
find
man.
him. They find him like a week or so floating in the pond.
Oh, man.
You see what I'm saying? Like, that's because we have lost track of the whole we the village thing, where as a collective we always supposed to have eyes on our kids. But what happened is sometimes we have issues to where, like, nobody in the neighborhood holds responsibility no more. Nobody watching each other kids. Neighbors don't really talk no more. You don't know who your neighbors is. Your kids don't know the neighbors across the street kid. Like, nobody know each other because we're so anti-social. You know what I'm saying? Well, let me see what Miss Evelyn Baldwin said. Parental guidance has been lost for years. At some point, parents stop raising their kids. At that point, kids begin raising themselves. They become friends with their parents and living a life. Hold on, let me get back to what she said. Living a life. Before their times. Kids are unattending and left for open opportunity. Hey, she right. She right about that, man. It's late, like, man, it's gotten real bad where kids are raising themselves. Big time. Like, I got my daughter, her friends are the same way. Where a lot of them, like, they be trying to almost want to kill themselves. Like, literally, like you can, anytime we go pick one of her friends up, like, her mom never comes out to see who picks her up.
Right.
Never. Like, we can literally, like, just drive, snatch her, and go, and they'll never know. Never know. You know what I'm saying?
How old is she? How old is she?
She 15. I want to say 15 or 16.
That's an age where I'm gonna tell you, man. This is such a loaded discussion, but
yeah,
I know.
Let me catch what Evelyn Baldwin said again. She said this. They can have conversations about depression and anxiety at a really early age. Go ahead. What you about to say?
People need to know, like, this world is a very predatory world on so many levels. And the last thing you want, especially for the female, but the males too, but the females, they have to know that they can come home for anything. Home is going to be behind them. Because what happened is they'll get out here, they'll meet some guy who's going to promise them the heaven, earth, and everything, and literally manipulate them and give them that false support that they couldn't get at home.
Right.
And that's where it starts. You know, that's where it starts. Right. And you could call that pimping. You could call that husband, quote unquote, or a abusive boyfriend. It comes in so many different forms, but it's family support has to be there. Family support really has to be there on so many levels.
That's where the dynamic hurts at, because the world, television, music, everywhere teaches separation.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? If all we do is watch especially for black people, if all we do is listen to separation, we listen to negativity about a black
Right.
man, negativity about a black woman. If all we
Right.
listen to is negativity, people talk negativity, there is no way those two opposite sexes can get together, have a grown-up conversation, and raise another little person.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
impossible. Hell, they can't
Yeah.
even get along with each other. How they go raise another person where they can't even like each other enough to talk to raise somebody?
You know what China Mac? I don't know if you heard of China Mac, but I check out DJ Vlad's channel a lot. And China Mac said something in an interview that really stuck with me. He said they keep the prisons, they purposely psychologically keep prisoners compartmentalized. Like they keep the Aryan Nation in one group. They keep the Crips in another group. In other words, they keep these groups because they want people fighting amongst themselves. Because a prison will never revolt as long as everybody's fighting against each other. They ain't got time. Aryan Nation ain't about to try to talk to a Crip and say, hey man, how can we come together and overthrow this unfairness that whatever they think they're doing. Not to say that they're right, either one is righteous and just, but it's just a good example. If you got two gangs warring against each other, it's better to have them warring against each other than them come together and overthrow what they may perceive as an oppressive system. So same thing in couples.
Right.
As long as you got the man and the woman arguing, the house stays divided. Y'all can't raise the kids. The kids come out in the streets, and now the government raised the kids. Right. And the government's raised the kids through proxy, because if she's gonna run off with a pimp, she's gonna probably end up getting locked up a few times. Tax for the state. You see how this system works. Now she's got to get bailed out. That's more money for the state. Big daddy government, you know?
Yeah.
Or if she's fortunate to get in a relationship, she's going to be so unstable because she didn't come from a good background. The guy didn't really come from a solid background. So chances of divorce is going to be well over 90%. More money back into Big Daddy, you know? Right. It's really sad and depressing to think about. I really just wish I had a car full of fucking depression pills right now. You know, like
that's why I have my company, man. That's why I have my company, man.
With the CBD, with the CBD. Yeah, dude. Dude, I went exercising. I went on a run. I went jogging. It's funny. I tried to smoke cannabis, but I think I'm having side effects. I've been dizzy these past few days, and I have my resting heart rate is high. I'm gonna probably do another 10 minutes and just go to bed because I'm trying to make sure that's what it is. Right. But also I got to cut back on energy drinks, but it's just depressing times.
That's the problem, man. You need to get off. I don't drink sodas. I don't do no energy drinks, none of that stuff, man. I don't do none of that shit, man.
I'm gonna replace them with Powerade. I like Powerade shit.
Yeah, definitely get off that shit, man.
Dude,
like also if you can, I don't know if you do, but stay off of the red meat as much as too. I
need to cut back on that too.
Yeah. Get off of that, man. That's one thing. Like me and my wife, we're trying to really get on is kind of watching the red meat and whatnot. So definitely get off of that if you can, man. That's definitely important. Just the research and reading and stuff I'm understanding and developing. I've also been trying to learn the Hebrew alphabets and the Hebrew language and whatnot. So I've been studying that because I think you had touched on that before about how the translation of the Hebrew language is so important. Not just for like learning, but just to learn other knowledge that we need to discover besides the English language, because the way they present stuff to us, interpret us is such fuckery. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, you gotta, definitely.
It's so much fuckery. And that goes back to the music shit. But go ahead.
I was gonna say especially just black person, period, has to travel. or any minority in general, but most minorities know where they come from. But
Right.
I think it's just essential that we get on a plane and just literally go see other cultures, because we're kind of the only group of people that really don't do that. Don't have no sense of, I mean, think about it. It's kind of like the average black male doesn't see himself. This society, you're just certain things you take for granted that's not even reality. Like I had a friend who was I think my friend from Jamaica told me, like, when he goes to a Jamaican airport, everybody working there is Jamaican. The
Yeah.
pilot's Jamaican. The flight attendant's Jamaican. Everybody's Jamaican, and it's kind of like when you're in America and you think airport, you instantly see white people at the airport. When you think of a pilot, white man pops in your mind. When you think of stewardess, white woman pops in your mind. And it's kind of like that. Not that there's nothing wrong with that in and of itself, but it needs to be countered to know that no, it could be a Jamaican pilot, it could be a Chinese pilot, it could be the main actress could be a Jamaican actress. The main actress could be a Chinese actress. It's kind of like that. It's just that because the black community is at the bottom right now in terms of socially, we need that boost to balance everything out.
True.
Yeah.
All right. Evelyn Bowen said, we definitely need to know more. They want us to think that it makes sense. Everything they do, they try to make they try to dumb down, man. Everything they do, they try to dumb down to make it sense, and it doesn't make sense. I discussed, and I always discuss this, and I keep saying this. As a matter of fact, I had sent the video to my wife about about this whole we're waiting thing. And one thing I said is, and I talked to Deneen on the Campbell Green show, was that why is it that we gotta wait until we're judged and we're dead to win? Like every other race never had to judge to win. Like everybody's during this time frame. So why is it that in order for us black people to win, Jesus gotta come here in the world, judge us before we get some kind of peace? You see what I'm saying?
I talked to Jesus 2 weeks ago. You know what he told me?
What?
I said, Jesus, look, I know you want all the black folks to wait, but I ain't waiting. All right.
I'm telling you.
I just wanted to let you know, we'll chop it up when I get to heaven, but I'm really not gonna sit around and wait, man. So you're gonna have to just excuse me on that one.
Yeah, but do you get what I'm saying? You understand how deep that is? Why is it black people are the only people where we gotta wait until God is to judge before we win something? Like we gotta wait and all this shit in before we can celebrate. We gotta all die before we can celebrate. You dig what I'm saying? White folks been winning. They didn't have to die. Asians been winning. They didn't have to die, go to judgment. Russians, everybody won something at some point, and they didn't have to wait till Jesus to come down here to save them to be the win. They won in during some point of some century. You dig what I'm saying?
Right.
Why we gotta fucking wait till we die before we can take over some shit?
I will say this.
To understand that concept.
I will say this now. I've been having some weird things happen to me, man, because I've been praying. Because I try to test God, man, and I think I've seen some signs with what I've been doing, and I think I've actually been ignoring my signs. Like I think I actually been going the other way, but I've really been trying to talk to the higher consciousness that I refer to as God.
Yeah.
I try to keep an open mind. I don't like to say my way is the way. I'm on a journey myself, but I do believe that there's an underlying consciousness to reality that is waiting for us to maybe connect to it. All right. I think I don't know if I told you, but this business deal that I took, right? I prayed hard about it. Like I literally prayed hard about it. I was like, because I'm like, I always tell people I'm walking in rooms backwards, not knowing where the light switch is. That's
Right.
just how I feel about my life, because coming from our community, we're not taught business. We're taught you got to go work for somebody. You
Right.
got to go get a degree and you got to go work for somebody. So I walked into a business deal backwards, not prepared. And the guy that I'm in business with, his whole family is behind him.
Right.
Everything in his life is geared towards him winning. And then there's me, you know, and I have the know-how to build and scale the company, but I don't have that support that he has, because my background, we're just not used to that. So it's kind of like, you know, just that having to approach something and you feel like you really don't have no, I don't want to say no assistance, because, you know, of course, you know, my family supports me on what I do, but we don't have the tools, and we end up getting manipulated and used. Going back to even what we said about like having your daughter, if your daughter doesn't have the tools or the support, even though you love her, you cook dinner every night, you do what you're supposed to do, but if there's certain tools missing, she's gonna go out there and walk into a room backwards just like me, and manipulator's gonna be on the other side of the door. And it's
Right.
kind of like, but I said, in spite of that, I prayed about it, because I said I had nothing else. I don't have no support. I don't have this. I don't have tools. I prayed about it. Dude, don't you know, I'll never forget this. One night, I dreamed this girl came up to me in the hallway, and she kept saying, don't miss your exam at, and I'm going to just make up the time, but it was something like 10:29. And I said, and I just kept blowing it off. I was like, look, I don't want to go through this. I don't want to hear it. I'm done with exams. And she's like, Larry, listen, don't miss it. Don't miss it. Just go. And it got so annoying. I said, okay, all right. 10:29. Dude, I get in the car with my business partner. We had to go pick up some CBD. And for some reason, I told him, I said, I had the weirdest dream, man. I said, some girl walked up to me in my dream and told me not to miss some exam at 10:29. Don't you know that dude said that was his birthday? You know, that was the date of his birthday.
That's crazy.
Now, fast forward, this was about a year or so ago. I don't know what's going to come out of this deal. It's got all kind of turns and twists. But I think I'm interpreting that dream better. I think the reason why I was annoyed in that dream was because I knew in advance things weren't going to quite go the way I want them to go, but I had to go through that door anyway.
Right.
Because I can remember in that dream, I was like, I don't want to do this. I'm sick of this shit. I don't want to take another exam. I don't want to go through another test. I was argumentative.
Right.
And she was like, Larry, no, I'm telling you got to do this. And I think, and me and you, I don't try to bring up my business online unless it's positive. But you know behind the scenes what's going on and the trials and tribulations I go through. But I think now I'm starting to get what that dream meant. But it started by literally getting on my knees and saying, if there's a nigga floating around in heaven that's supposed to bless me, I need you to help now. All right. So that's the best I could do. I'm not a holy Dante, you know me. I don't get on this holy shit. You know that. All right. But if I have an experience, I'll share it. But I'm trying to come with an open heart and see what's out there, man. But I can only give my testimony on that. And it seems like every time I sincerely try to connect with this higher power, I'm shown a sign.
Yeah.
You know, but that's just where I'm at, dude. And I mean, who knows what's going to happen? But I think you got to go with your gut in life. You know, you got to have the best of intentions. But if shit don't seem like it's going the way it needs to go for you, then you got to be like, okay, I need to go. I'm going to have to just kick this damn door open then, you know, and just God, if there's a God, he's just going to have to know my heart was in the right place, you know, but I can't sit here. Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely believe, like, that's the thing. Like, I don't know why people like if you say like I'm not religious, people like, well, you don't believe in God, and I'm like, that ain't even the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right. There we go. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
Let's read
That's
what
right.
let's read this message real quick before we go on, before I continue. Larry, you're right. We as Black people have the trust issues of supporting each other in a group effort. It's hard to have their talk with family also, but we have to. So how do we have these conversations with people we hardly know? Well, we have for years. Everything we have gets taken away. We have to come up with a better way. I'm actually about to touch on that. All right, this is the thing. Religion and God ain't the same thing. God is God is the person of is pretty much our creator, and with that we are God like because He made us of image. So we have a direct wavelength connection to God to where we don't need a liaison, a middle person, or a pastor, anybody that's with God.
Right
We
on. Right
have
on.
our own sound waves to communicate directly with God. Otherwise, we don't. We gotta start realizing we got each other to communicate and translate and share information to gain knowledge within us. You know what I'm saying? Because all of us are God-like. So when we get around each other, we can make great things happen. We can all plan, organize together, construct, and make and do great things. The problem is a lot of us tend to do very bad things more than we do great things with one another. So which weirdly generates more money when you do bad shit. And see, the thing is like when you have people and you have a congregation, you have what you call followers. All you doing is following a person's construct of a situation. You're not necessarily going on 100% towards your intuition that God gave you. God gave us a spirit, a mind, a body, a soul, and all these other things to manifest great things. So when we rely on another person's following or path instead of just following your path that God gave you, then you're hindering the potential that He gave you. And see, the thing is, what's weird is that the same Bible that Black people got, your slave masters had that same Bible, and they ruled and brainwashed us for a very long time. But for some reason, we don't realize the linkage that we had between our slave master and slave was the Bible, because they used that exact same Bible. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the difference maker. And that's the difference maker that a lot of people don't want to accept. It's the fact is that we're so submissive to them. That's the problem. And what's sad is, and what we have now in the new age of time, is that Black women will fight to be submissive to a Black man, but they will go to work and listen to everything that man says at work with no problem at all whatsoever. They say yes sir, no sir, boom, 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 boom. But we have a hard time being submissive to our Black man if we don't have a title. If he ain't a boss somewhere, if he ain't a supervisor or manager. Now, if he's just a regular worker somewhere, then for some reason we have that fight of tendency of wanting to be submissive to that man. But if for some reason when we have that title, then a want of submissive, but it's not per full submissiveness. But you're pretty much going to be submissive based off of your agenda to want to be submissive for a reason, but you're not fully submissive to that man. And what happens is that's also a slave mentality that has been groomed in us from the beginning, to where they taught Black women not to listen to Black men. They taught women not to look at Black men the way we should and follow Black men. Now, don't get me wrong. understand the word black men, the man, boy, and a nigga. All right. A man
Yeah.
and a nigga. And the thing is, that's where I have a lot of problems now with women like, man, I'm tired of these niggas. But stop dating niggas. You
I
know?
think, and you know what? I think even the word submissive, I think, because I'll be honest, when I hear that word at first, I'm thinking subordinate, like, you know, and I'm sure a lot of women think that way. Like, I'm not going to submit. You know what I'm saying? Like that word submit. But I think that it's how it's used. Like, for instance, I'll give you a good example.
Uh-huh.
Right now, we got a guy who's our operations manager.
Okay.
Now, technically, I'm a business partner, so I'm supposedly over that guy.
Right.
In the grand scheme of things.
Right.
But when it comes to him running operations, guess what I got to do? I got to submit.
Right.
Today, I had to do that. Wasn't easy because I could pull my card, but that's what he does. His role is operations manager. In order for him to be effective, I got to support him. So
Right.
when he gets on me or tells me something, I got to submit, because in order for the organization to function, I got to be willing to check myself and say, you know what, I got to support this guy, because if I don't, he gets pissed off. The production line on the floor just gets disarray, because now my ego and what I think, how I should feel, blah, 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 blah. You know, so it's just like that. It's like there's submission for the husband, but the husband also has his, I guess you could call it, submission for his wife. It's like an equal kind of exchange, just in a different way, where the husband has to.
I got a question, because you said something real. You brought something that maybe hit a light bulb on something. You said support earlier. Okay, so my question then is, what's the difference between, or is there a difference between support and submissive? Because you said that word earlier, and I'm like, damn, you know, I ain't think about support. So you have support and you have submission. Is there a correlation to that, or is there a difference in that?
I think now this is where it gets deep, because I think that submission can be physical support and psychological support.
Mm-hmm.
I think it can go both ways. You know, the act of saying you submit, you're submitting, you're not confrontational, maybe you're not argumentative, you're not physical, you're not aggressively physical, you're more, you know, trying to calm the environment. So in a physical sense, you're being submissive, and psychologically you're being submissive. You know, so I think it's a multi-dimensional thing. It has a physical and psychological implications, you know, of being submissive, so to speak. It's supportive in a sense, because it goes back to kind of the analogy I just gave you. Like, although I got a lot of power at the organization and I could override this guy, I know in the grand scheme of things, it's not going to really be to my benefit or his or the organization's. So I need to submit, you know. So that's that in that sense, that's more that could be psychological submission. That in the example is psychological submission. Physical submission, because I'm not going to raise my voice to him and yell and say, oh shit, because there's the workers in the room. So if the workers, i.e. kids, see me arguing with the operations manager, now the worker's going to see the disarray. So the organization starts to fall apart. So in my sense, in that sense, I do have to submit, you know, in order to support, so to speak. But I think it's a two-way street, though. I think he has to submit in certain situations. If I'm trying to get a point across, he can't overstep either, you know. And like I said, I'm not an expert in this, but I'm glad we're thinking about it.
Right.
You know, I'm glad we're thinking about it, and I think that that's kind of why there's such a split in the households, because roles are confused. Or I always say this. I always say the elites when you go to the top level or the elites, the people that really run the show, their family's not broken up.
I mean,
They're
hell no.
not.
Of course not. Of course not. They call
Yeah.
it blue bloods. They call it blue bloods.
Yeah, they're not in no divided household. They're not throwing shit in the room and cussing. You know, they are together. Yeah.
Evelyn says, and I hope I'm saying your name right, but it's submission is letting the chain of command take its place.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, I believe that too. I believe that too.
That's a good way to put
it. It's important to know who's the head. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
like in a household, it doesn't. Nobody really acknowledge that, or they want to fight for that. But go ahead.
I was going to say one more thing too.
Okay, he done froze up again. So while he's frozen up, I'm gonna talk a little bit. Submission and support is very key factors in a family dynamic. Not only a family dynamic, but in a community dynamic. The reason why it's so important to have a sense of support is the fact that when one has a weakness, you have supportive collectives to support that person's weakness by them highlighting their strengths. So that's why if I'm not good at multitasking, making this phone call, making that phone call, then it's very important to have somebody else here that can manage the schedules, and you have somebody here that manage this task, and you got somebody here that can take phone calls. Like, that's where you have that support group, and that's very, very important. When it comes to being submissive, it's important in a family and a collective dynamic based off of the. All right, I got you again. But
hey, my bad.
Do good, my brother. But
my
yeah,
bad.
it's important. It's important to have the submissive collective when it comes to really establishing a decision. You know what I'm saying? Somebody got to be able to make the decision. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing I know in the matter of fact, give you a perfect example. When we was creating the Enterprise Stand-Up Group, and within the Enterprise Stand-Up Group, one thing that I established and I asked them distinctly is, okay, what is everybody's title? What is everybody's position? Because somebody's got to be able to be the head, make that final decision. Mm-hmm. And at the time, a lot of people didn't really understand what I was saying when I asked them that question, but we learned later on that, hey, somebody got to be that head, and everybody else will have to submit to that decision. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's why I say submission is very important, and being supportive are two very important dynamics in a family dynamic and in a community dynamic. Mm-hmm. But let me read what she said here real quick. Support to me can work in both areas with the husband and wife, because the support demands conversation and examples of one's opinion on whatever needs to be addressed. What you think about that? You agree with that?
I do. I actually do. I'm still exploring this whole thing. I don't really like the debate about it. I know that might sound kind of lame, but because I'm sort of in the process of helping build a company now, and you do have to have a decision maker. You have to have a person who's kind of like, you know, they're going to be the final decision maker, so to speak.
Yeah.
As far and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you do have organizations where you might have a leaderless organization. Like, I heard there's some gangs, especially black gangs, where there's really no leader. There's more of a consensus type of thing. Right. But I will say, put it like this. Everything comes with a price. So the leader is the one that has to run out the house with the gun in his hand when there's an intruder.
Right.
I don't think I have to say anything else.
That's true. But
The leader.
easy, cause why is it? If you look at history, right?
I don't mean to cut you off, man, but if my woman run out the house with a gun before me, she the leader.
Hey, that's right.
Hey, you come to my house, you got to talk to her.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
You might as well put a skirt on.
Yeah, she the leader. I mean, you're gonna have to holler at her. All right.
Yeah, you put a skirt on at that point.
She the leader.
Yeah, you gotta put a skirt on at that point. Real talk. Cause it's important, man. It's important to establish the roles and who's what and who's this.
Right.
You can't be like you saying barking all our decisions, but when chaos
exactly.
It don't work like that.
In armies, think about it. In armies, in especially ancient armies, leaders were elected based on their sacrifices and what they did in battle.
Right.
So it's kind of like, and as a man, you're already expected to be just by default the one that sacrifices in battle. So by default, you're looked at as the head of household. You know, I'll put it like this. We may be moving to Texas, not we, but we're going to be trying to locate some of the operations in Vegas. And I had to tell my business partner, I live with my aunt and I'm the man of the house. People see my car pull up, neighbors, and they know, okay, there's a man living there. Now, when I leave, if they don't see my car, I got to think about the other people that don't see that car. Because the one thing that probably kept them from trying to break in was, okay, there's going to probably be a man in there. So it's just like default leadership type of thing. Now, my aunt runs the house. It's her house. But I'm just talking about, you know, that when you have a man around, you know, like if I had a girlfriend living by herself and I'm gone, she may think she's the leader or want to be the leader. But the fact of the matter is, when I leave the house, the world sees the leader, the man, the masculine guy. He's gone now. So now they about to try her more, you know? So that's why you just have to have that support, because we're in an age now where it's sad, man. It's like nobody wins at the end of the day. Nobody wins. Men don't win by saying, oh, I don't need no bitch. I can live on my own. Women don't win by saying they don't need no man. So it's kind of like,
true.
You know.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I be hearing that shit. I'm like, that's the most dumbest shit in the world to say. Like, I don't need no man or I don't need no woman. Like, you understand, like, you wouldn't even exist without that need. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't exist without that need. You wouldn't exist without that need. Without that dynamic, then none of this would have taken place. So you can't discredit your created. your creation.
That's right. That's just
it's the dumbest shit in the world I've ever heard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I almost got caught up in that bullshit, man. I was just like, and don't get me wrong, I know I listened to a lot of MGTOW videos, but I don't like to talk and be like, you know, screw that group. They have a point.
Right.
But the thing with the whole MGTOW movement was they saw all the fault with women. They see all the fault with women. And I came to the conclusion that I see all the fault with just people. Right. Men, women, and everybody in between. Like, people are the problem. You got good people, you got bad people. And that's ultimately what it comes down to, you know.
I mean, everybody got a fucked up side. You dig what I'm saying? That's the problem, that people that are like single, that are dating or trying to look for somebody, like everybody got a fucked up side. So the thing is, you just gotta find the fucked up side that you can deal with. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole, I was watching some earlier and I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, for instance, all men are stupid, all women are crazy. That's one thing I always say. I've been saying this for the longest. All men are stupid, all women are crazy. It's no such thing as neither one of those. At default, we do dumb shit without thinking. And it is what it is. There's no reason even trying to explain it. It is what it is. We're men. Right. That's how we are. We do shit like that. We like taking risks. We like blowing shit up. We like fucking shit up. We like doing a lot of shit without no logical explanation. It is what it is. Women are crazy. One thing I was telling my brothers and everybody, they started like, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna find somebody ain't crazy. I was like, well, good luck. You'll never find it. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because all women are that. You just gotta find the crazy that you can deal with. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Based off of the estrogen.
I was gonna say that it's the
hormonal stuff like that. They're gonna have their up and downs, their moments and shit that you just can't fucking deal with. And but here's what it is.
Mm-hmm. Huh? I was saying like the testosterone with men.
Testosterone with men is the reason why we're stupid. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. And the reason why women are crazy because of the estrogen. So we got to understand that dynamic ain't never going to change the nature of the course of what it is. Now, true enough, we got people now that's trying to play that game and trying to change the levels of our estrogen and our hormones and things like that nature. But that's a whole different conversation. But we got to understand that you're not going to find a guy that quote unquote good guy. You're not. You're going to find a man or you're going to find somebody that's fake. You see what I'm saying? Because you're not going to find that guy that's just going to sweep you off your feet, say everything that you're supposed to say that's right, that's going to do everything that you want him to do. Like, that shit is not real. You know what I'm saying?
You know, it's kind of like, and this, man, write that topic down because I'm gonna actually have to go, man. I'm about to run out of gas because we can talk for another 30 minutes. But write that topic down because I want to talk about that. We can talk about that because man, I was gonna say something, but I'm gonna hold it. I'm gonna hold it, man. Yeah. But I'll open it up. You know, you mentioned estrogen, right? While women are crazy, right? Well, that ties into my opinion why women like when they say they're like the bad boy, right? Right. And a lot of guys say, oh, you know, why these women want these bad boys? And I tell my friends, I was like, women want bad boys the same reason why you want these strippers. You know what I'm saying? It's that reptilian animal kind of thing where it overrides logic. It doesn't make no sense. You know damn well that stripper probably ain't gonna do no good for you. She probably ain't gonna, you know what I'm saying? I mean, when she come off that pole, I don't know if you're gonna be like the best you can be. I mean, I could be wrong, but we're just speaking in terms of statistics, right?
Right.
But there's that testosterone, that lust that says, you know, man, I could do one round, see what happens. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to keep it going, man. I'm looking at my car's literally on E, man. You saw my battery died. But let's write these topics down.
I said, man, we can do this tomorrow, man. We can do it again tomorrow, man.
Yeah. I appreciate it.
Hey, let's link up tomorrow. But
let's do it. I'm
gonna stay on here for probably another 20 minutes. I'm probably gonna do another 20, 30 minutes. But yeah, let's link up tomorrow. Let's do the show again tomorrow.
Right on, man. All right. Have a good one. Have a good one. All right.
No doubt.
All right.
All right. Let's see what we got. I always say men see me as perfect. And when they see my imperfects, they start to talk crazy to me, trying to bring out the worst in me. So it's always about my reaction to the situation. Most of the time, if I remain calm, it's weird for him. So he calls me sneaky. I simply don't want to act out. I know men have the same problems with women, giving them too much perfect in the beginning. Yeah, this is the thing. And this is the thing that I always tell people. Stop having fake first dates. Start having having first dates to where you actually like just keep it real or how you are. But the thing is, a lot of people, like you say, you know, you're imperfect. But a lot of people don't even like to mention their imperfects, or a lot of them not even aware of their imperfects. Or some people base their imperfects based off of the previous person that they was with. So what happens is a lot of people don't even want to engage on conversating about the imperfects because they think the imperfects was caused by the other person and they never even fixed it. So what happens is your imperfects never got worked on, and you bring it into the next situation, and you bring old and new issues that can cause more of a toxic situation. The goal is when you are if you have imperfects, the best thing is when you meet somebody is to have that conversation at the beginning and have that conversation for the first week or two, just discussing that and discussing how y'all can collectively improve and work on each other and make each other better if y'all were to stay together long term. And how would that person approach your imperfects, and how will you approach his imperfects, and how will y'all be able to deal with each other's craziness and stupidness and things like that. The goal ain't to come in each other's face, laugh, giggle, ha ha ha. Now, let's get that part established. If you're not going to go, if this person's just going to be a one night thing or somebody you just trying to sex it with, then cool, I get that part. You ain't got to have this conversation. But if it's somebody that you're trying to invest in and be with, then those kind of conversations need to happen. You shouldn't be having conversations about having fun, how nice you can be, how cool you can be, because those are good, easy moments to have with a person that anybody can kind of deal with. Who cannot deal with somebody when you're having fun or when you're having a good time or when they're nice? Like, so why are you still covering that? How about covering when the person is moody that day? Or covering dealing with somebody that is bipolar, or somebody that I forgot the name of it, but a person that just like to clean all the time, or somebody that is materialistic, or somebody that is just like, those are conversations that you need to have at the beginning so y'all can establish if y'all are compatible or not compatible and what you can and can't deal with. Especially guys, when you try to deal with a female that's materialistic or just very, very materialistic, you got to determine, are you going to be able to deal with this female's in materialistic ways? Are you going to be able to finance that all the time? You got to understand, can you handle that? If you can't, get away. Because guess what? What you know, that's what you got to maintain, because you know of it. For women, if you know a guy that has anger issues, or if you got a guy, you say, you want a thug-like dude, or you want somebody that's hard all the time, but you don't really understand what the definition of hard really is. Because sometimes we get the word hard and masculine mixed up. Okay, you ain't got to be a thug. You ain't got to be coming out of prison. You ain't got to be a drug dealer. You ain't got to be all these things to be hard. A man that take care of his kids is considered a hard masculine man. A man that has a business. A man that knows how to take care of his mom or his grandmother or somebody that and responsible with his community, as involved in his community. Those are masculine behaviors. Young women, we have an issue of understanding and interpreting that, sometimes because of who we are around, that shows us doesn't show us what a real masculine man is. So when it comes to encountering and talking to and trying to date and trying to learn men, we tend not to even know what a man really is, and we only learn and understand boyish ways, or you just kind of think about your own wants and needs and hoping that he can meet those wants and needs, and you never even evaluate him as a person and what he needs from you. Sometimes that happens a lot too, to where you get in a situation and a person can get drained because all you've been doing is giving, but they have never given you nothing when it comes to mental, spiritual, physical, the gratitude, the the acceptance, the love, the that thing is always missing. So overall, man, we got to start evaluating these, and like she said here, you know, them imperfections. We got to stress those more, and we got to stop thinking once you leave one situation. Once you leave that one situation, you definitely need to evaluate your imperfects and work on your imperfects before you get with somebody else, because you don't want to bring all the old habits or the old problems that you had in your previous into your new potential, because that can make that even more toxic. Energy is very important when it comes to who you deal with and how you deal with things. But I mean, other than that, man, we gotta do better in the household. We gotta do better socially. We gotta do better even when it comes to spiritual growth. We definitely gotta do better with that. And as a community, we gotta do better. And nationwide, especially with this voting stuff, we gotta start viewing that differently too, because we definitely losing when we our options are F minus and D plus. If our options are F minus and D plus, then damn, we are doomed. Damn, we're doomed. Man, we're definitely doomed. And I ain't picking either one of them because I'm an A plus student, not no D minus or F. Nah, I'm not picking either one of those options. That's not how I roll. But overall, man, it's been a good night. I hope everybody gets some sleep, get some rest. Once again, I got the brownies. Excuse me. I'm about to have tincture oils for CBD. I'm about to start making regular oils for CBD that you can put in your food, you can put in your drinks. I'm actually finna put some in my zucchini and my squash and grilled chicken tomorrow. I'm gonna see how that tastes. I'm gonna flavor it up. But I got other things that's gonna be available. Brownies are available now. All right, yeah. Good night, little lady. Anybody need orders or want me to ship you anything or place some orders? Definitely get at me. Hope to see y'all tomorrow night. We'll be back on here tomorrow night. I probably jump on here a little bit early, maybe around 11 p.m. Eastern time. People in Alabama, it's gonna be 10. So I'm definitely jumping back on. I'm definitely gonna jump back on. We're gonna talk some more. Hey, y'all have a good night. Have a blessed one. Later, people.